Hello everyone and welcome to another high elo game of Age of Empires. Today, after watching Cool Runnings with my niece, I've got Feel the Rhythm, Feel the Rhyme stuck in my head. Except it's not bobsled time, it's time to watch the Viper playing as the Saracens in teal take on TaToH playing as the Malians in red. Now all the players herd their herdables, explore their immediate surroundings, jack their lumber, and try to get their butts up to Feudal Age ASAP. Why don't we take a look at the civilizations we'll be watching today, and then I'm going to zoom out for a second. We'll take a look at the map that we're on, the map that we're actually watching those two civilizations play. Now, the Saracens are a civilization whose strong market, and by the way, it looks like everyone here, starting with a market and a farm, can be used to gain an early to mid-game advantage over their opponents. To start with, Saracen markets do only cost 75 wood, and their commodity trading fee is fixed at 5% right from the very beginning of the game, which is significantly lower than the 30% that other civs have to pay when they, for example, buy food earlier on. Now, using this economic advantage, the Saracens can field quite a hard-hitting tanky army. Their foot archers come with a +3 attack bonus against buildings, which makes their Feudal Age aggression a little bit scarier. Their camel units come with 25% more HP. Their trebs, their mangonels, their onagers can all be upgraded to increase their attack. And their unique unit, the Mameluke, is a ranged melee camel unit that comes with a big attack bonus against cavalry. Now, if, as sometimes happens in Age of Empires, you find yourselves with units whose HP is not quite at 100%, perhaps they took a bit of a bad engagement, well, then know that Saracen monks can be upgraded to automatically and passively heal all units nearby. Now, I would be remiss if I didn't mention, because we are on a water map, that Saracen galleys do attack 25% faster, and their transport ships come with double the HP and carry twice as many units. Now, pivoting to the South Island, where our red Malian, like our Saracen, has already gotten the idea of going water. I wonder why. Let's take a look at TaToH playing as the Malians in red, a civilization classified as infantry. But man, oh man, are they so much more. To start with, sure, units produced in a Malian barracks do get extra pierce armor for free starting in Feudal Age, all the way up to +3 pierce armor for free in Imperial. And their unique unit is the GL.TaToH, a quick infantry unit with a strong ranged melee attack, but terrible HP and 0 base armor of any kind. But beyond their infantry is where the Malians get super cool and wonky. Their cavalry can be upgraded to get a massive +5 attack boost, which is amazing because even though the Malians do not have hussars or paladins, with this upgrade, their cavaliers actually have a higher attack than paladins, and their light cavalry and their heavy camel riders are some of the most powerful in the game. Now, if instead you choose to go the archer route, know that you'll have plenty of wood to train your army, since all Malian buildings except for farms cost 15% less wood. Now, in order to help you build your military as fast as possible, Malian gold miners do drop off 10% more gold, their universities work 80% faster, and their settlements can be harder to raid because the Malians can actually upgrade their town centers to fire 8 arrows when not garrisoned, and 18 when fully garrisoned, compared to the usual 10. Those are the two civilizations, both players trying to gather as much food and lumber, wood, as possible, both on land and sea. Well, not lumber at sea, but food at sea. What are we working with today? What's on the menu? Red snapper and silver salmon. Not too sure those are two fish that are generally found together, but it looks like it is our Malian who is first to explore the island opposite of the others, as we would call it in Lost. Actually, never mind. I'm completely wrong. It is actually our Saracen who was first to discover the others. Okay, so survivor of the oceanic flight is the Viper, and the others are the Malians in this case, if you are a fan of Lost, which it's got a good cult following, not gonna lie. In any event, let's take a look at the settlements. We've got lots and lots of resources, both players with huge piles of gold in their forward position, which makes that gold a little bit riskier to mine. But back home nearby, lots of stone, lots of gold as well. What you don't see a lot of on this map, wood. And on a water map, wood is about as good as gold, about as good as stone, to be honest. And so we'll see what the players decide to do as they both head up to Feudal Age. The Viper with 3 villagers more than his opponent, will go up about 19 seconds behind. Both of them with a little bit of TC idle time. Both of them gathering a few more resources than normal, playing it closer to an arena style than a Arabia style in terms of number of villagers going up. And we'll see what the players decide to do. Now, the Saracens, you guys know I absolutely fanboy over the Saracens. Huge. That being said, if we're lucky enough to get to see Farimba, which is the upgrade that gives Malian cavalry +5 attack, if we're lucky enough to see their heavy camels, I'm pretty excited, not gonna lie, about the prospect of seeing Saracen camel units with 25% more HP taking on Malian camels with a +5 attack, and seeing which camel comes out on top, whose hump will be bigger. And I'm looking at this empty piece of real estate here with a few of these adorable lily pads on it, because this is the only avenue of attack on land between the 2 islands, between the 2 bases / settlements, whatever you want to call it, as both players are now in feudal. A second dock already up for our Malian. Our Saracen happy to go up to 7 fishing ships, and here we go, 2 galleys. Now, let's compare the water, because that's something, generally I don't really talk about water, because 99% of the maps that I cast are Arabia. And so these are pretty good civilizations on the water. Now, neither of them are perfect. Neither of them are seriously advantaged. Again, the Saracens, like I said, they're transport ships. The extra HP, always funny, because, you know, it does make crossing the waters a little bit safer if you can take a bit more of a pounding from your enemy. The double space is generally pretty good as well. Although in these high elo pro games, you generally don't see a full transport. You don't see usually 5, 10, in this case 20 for the Saracens units inside. You see a villager, you see 5 villagers, you see 3 villagers. You don't really see... Oh, look, they can cross this. Very interesting. Oh, I don't know if the Viper realizes that you can cross that sandbar, as his fishing ships are going to come under attack. But it would seem like there's an advantage on the water to the Saracens, because again, the galley line units attacking 25% faster is great. But then you realize, if we're, like I said, lucky enough to get to the late game, and we're 12 minutes in, the Viper's already 30 seconds away from Castle Age. So it's a good bet that we're going to see some kind of late game, either late Castle or late, or Imperial even. The Saracens don't have fast fire ships. That being said, the Malians, they don't have galleons. I'm not even going to mention their lack of elite cannon galleon, because probably not going to see that. Now, both civilizations, interestingly, missing shipwright, which means they have to pay full price and wait full length for their ships to be trained. As more and more fishing ships, it looks like the Viper also getting a second dock, and here we go. He's going with the fire galley. But like I said, the Saracens missing the fast fire ship is a huge deal, because that is a unit that we see a lot in water battles. Now, one thing I will point out, as TaToH gets more and more of these kills, 4 civilian kills, already 5. 2 things I'll point out. Number 1, you're going to hear me probably if there's more and more naval engagements happening, if there are more and more naval engagements happening, you're going to hear me fanboying out a lot about the death animations of ships, because they are pretty damn cool. 6 kills by TaToH so far. The Viper, not a single one. So that's the first thing. Prepare yourself. I'm just giving you fair warning. These galleys might want to get the hell out of here. Second thing you're going to want to note is that demo ships are going to be very important in this game if there are big engagements here in the center. Now, I don't know if there will be. I hope there are. Generally, it's a safe bet when you're watching a map like this with one area of attack, similar to Rage Forest, except unlike Rage Forest, or Black Forest as we used to call it back in the day, you can't really cut a path through the water. An onager is not going to clear a path from here upwards. Our Saracen with the fire ships has caught another galley, so our Viper gets the first kill for him at the 16-minute mark of the game. So to summarize, yours truly is going to fanboy over death animations if we get to see naval battles, and if we indeed get to see a lot of action in the center, expect demo ships, and these are 2 civs that both get heavy demo ships, so that's going to be pretty fun to watch. That being said, I really don't know what the hell's going to happen. And oh, look at this block by the Viper, blocking the, oh no, the fire galley. Oh, beautiful play there out of our Viper, out of our teal Saracen. Now, I know some of you purists, and I'm saying purists because there are other words that I can use that are not quite as kind, are going to take issue with the fact that the Viper is in teal and that I have not changed the color to yellow. But to you, I say, take it up with the man himself, write to your congressman, and leave the poor caster alone. I am here to cast the games as they are. And the Viper, by the way, if you've been watching, if you've been paying attention, he's back to streaming online on Twitch. Now, I try, generally, unless I have a game in mind, I try to avoid overwatching Twitch because then it'll spoil the games. So I'll pop in here and there and see what's what. Sometimes. This game I didn't catch. But none of the games that he played today, and I popped in, I think, about 3 or 4 times, none of the games that he played today, the Viper played in yellow. So I don't know if something's going on with the Viper. I don't know if he's having a, if snakes have a midlife crisis in Age of Empires, or what's happening. But I do know that the Viper has been playing a lot in blue, and now we're seeing him in teal. But that's neither here nor there. 3 Malian scouts. Forget the water, they are back on land. Ooh, he is chasing in. These are now war galleys, and that's going to be as good as it gets for the Malians, because remember, no galleons for them. Okay. 2 kills, I'm assuming villagers, since the Viper has no military on land whatsoever except this guy. Okay, I'm surprised that 1 monk managed to shoo away 3 scouts. 3 scouts is enough to one-shot a monk. 2 light cav, 3 scouts. Our Malian, let's take a look. He's got 5 fire ships, 7 war galleys. The army count is rather significantly in his favor. He's down 6 villagers though, as the Viper brings in his 2nd relic of the game. He's got a 3rd one just down here. He must have seen it. Yeah, of course he has. And yet again, he's shooing away. Now they're light cavalry units, so he doesn't even need 3 to kill a monk in 1 shot. But absolutely crazy there that he's managing to shoo those away with a monk, of all things. And now the monk, look at him in the middle of nowhere, exposed. By the way, everyone started with 2 berry patches, in case I forgot to mention, which I believe I did forget to mention. I mean, this must be the cockiest monk I've ever seen. And he manages to get a conversion. The balls pay off, but no, he's going to die. 1 whack, 2 whack, and that's it. That's all she wrote. But another red scout, so TaToH ends up losing 1 scout. The Viper tries to body block again, thinks better of it, and then just guns that cavalry unit down himself. And now the Viper controls the straits here in the center of the map. The canal, Panama, Suez, whatever the hell you want to call it. This is going to be very important. This area is going to be incredibly important. TaToH's got to be careful, these fire ships. Oh my god. Oh my god. Somebody commented recently how the counter system is completely broken in Age of Empires. Man, oh man, did it seem like that there. So here we go. We've got 1 camel with 25% more HP. 1 camel who, oh no, doesn't have bloodlines yet. Okay, attacked the monk. But as we all know, camels versus anything other than cavalry. Not fantastic. Not very quick to kill it. Looks like the Viper lost his dock here to the Malian Navy. At the same time, though, oh, he's not paying attention. He's attacking the dock as the Malian attacks him. Now the Viper's running away. So let's take a look at army counts. Let's take a look at the settlements of the players, because there's a lot of small little things happening around the map, but nothing really major at this point. TaToH backs away with his cavalry. So a good time for us to see what exactly is happening on Twin Island here. 1, 2, 3 town centers for a Saracen, 66 villagers to the 54 of his opponent, but his opponent might catch up soon because he's also getting his 3rd town center 2 already up. I like the position of this town center, by the way. Very exposed here in the middle of nowhere, but he gets access to stone, access to gold. He's got a bit of an early radar system here in the front, so if the Viper even tries to step foot anywhere on TaToH land, TaToH will know about it as he brings his galleys in here to attack anything and everything. And this is what gets really annoying about games like this. Annoying for the players, awesome for the casters and the anyone who's watching this later. There's nowhere safe on this map. I mean, this town center might be safe, but everything else is pretty damn close to the edge of the island. As the game goes on, and as more and more infrastructure gets plopped down, and as more and more resources get mined, and you know, just civilizations expand, it is going to be very difficult to keep your land-based army safe from any kind of naval attack. That being said, TaToH has left this dock up. He's going to lose. Will he lose? Yes, he will. Viper decides not to chase, doesn't really know what exists out here in the open sea. So doesn't know if there's going to be reinforcements. Happy to sit on that one kill is he, as TaToH now patrols the southern shores of the settlement, the Saracen settlement. And look at TaToH's map vision, by the way. This is fantastic. He knows exactly if the Viper tries to attack here in the west, he'll know about it. If the Viper tries to attack here in the east, he'll know about it. If the Viper tries a full frontal, TaToH will probably close his eyes, but he'll know about it, as a couple of demo ships here already are waiting, and the Viper knows that something's coming. The Viper suspects that this is going to be an important piece of real estate. You do not have to be Donald Trump to know that this is going to be a very valuable piece of land. Oh, let's see it. Okay, Villager and Monk die to the two demos. You let me know if that was the best trade there for TaToH. But the Viper is now moving forward. Now, I don't know. You guys know I love the Mameluke. Don't get me wrong. Hands down. Hands down. An amazing unit. But it does not have any relevant bonuses against camels. That being said, our Malian does have more light cav than camels. So, for now, a good unit to mix in. But in the long run, I'm not too sure the Mameluke is really the unit you want. Now, Edelweiss, you did point out that it does come with a +1 attack bonus against a single other camel unit in the game once it's elite, and that is against other Mamelukes. But I don't think our Malian is going to be training any Mamelukes anytime soon. He might get a few conversions, but that is neither here nor there. Center area completely unguarded, which means our Malian, he's poking, he's prodding, he wants to move in. He's bringing these monks with their amazing line of sight. Not that the light cav are any worse, but the Viper is heading up to Imperial Bloodlines. Finally getting God for our Malian at the 30-minute mark of the game after having how many cavalry units? He is finally getting Bloodlines. This fire ship is going to try to shoot away these villagers. Can it reach this guy? It should probably be able to reach this guy as well, right? No, it just decides to attack the dock. The Viper sends out a bit of a feeler to see what's going on. Oh, he lures out a demo attack. That's probably not something TaToH wanted to do, just to get rid of two light cavalry. Although maybe he did it to protect the monks. I don't know what the logic was behind that, as both players are building very camel-centric armies. Wololo's going up, going down, everything happening. TaToH is bringing villagers here. He's trying to plop down a castle. He's trying to lane these two very forward gold positions of the Viper, which is exactly the risk on this map. And like I pointed out, these golds for both players are actually incredibly exposed. And the Viper responds with a castle of his own. Oh, a Mameluke blocks the development of that real estate there for a second. I mean, TaToH's numbers are significantly higher than the Viper's here. He is going to absolutely overwhelm this army, but camels with their flimsy 0-0 base armor have no business engaging underneath a castle. And what? TaToH decides to cancel his castle, seeing that the Viper will probably get his up first. We've got a naval engagement here to the south as these Saracen war galleys take on Malian war galleys. Remember, these guys attack 25% faster, 2.4 second delay to where we have war galley to 3. So like I said, a decent advantage, not exactly the game-ending advantage that some other Civ features might have, but and here we go. By the way, we're heading up to Imperial. Both players getting careening, both players getting bodkin, so we're going to see some good naval engagements here. And I'm not too upset about that. Oh, sorry guys, I hit my mic accidentally. It looks like the Viper our Malian managed to convert one of these Saracen war galleys, which maintains its attack speed even after being converted. And now, look at this. Our Malian is gobbling up Saracen resources as Saracen Trebs come out to deal with it. Oh, I should point out, sorry. This is just my my own nonsense of not casting a lot of water games. I should point out with careening, because that's not an upgrade we see very often, both players getting it. It does add armor to your galleys. In this case, to your warships, basically. It adds 1 pierce armor. That's why you see 6+1 over here. Although not going to be very helpful against demo ships. Ooh, 1 more shot needed there. Now, it also improves the... In the middle of all of this, he's got to deal with a freaking bear. It also improves the capacity, the carrying capacity of transport ships, I want to say. I remember it does 2 things. A lot of these naval upgrades, they're dual purpose. Which for a caster that does 99% land games is about as bad as you can get, because I probably should have written all this shit down, but I believe it increases the transport capacity as well, and there is the galleon upgrade for our Saracen, as well as ballistics. Oh, last fishing ship here. Dum. We've got opponents squaring off. Who will take the red snapper? It looks like our Saracen, who guns down yet another structure. Now he's here with his navy. Uh-oh. This is not good for TaToH. It's cheeky that he managed to get a bunch of resources from the Viper, but now all of a sudden, he's got to get the hell away. He's trying to pull the Viper's army south while his villagers go where? Where? What's the plan here? Are you going to wall yourself in here? Are you going to train to transport? He's getting heavy camel riders. Both players getting chemistry. What was the point of this? I'm not too sure why he sent his villagers up here. But all of a sudden, at the 36-minute mark, we've got action erupting everywhere. Center area, camels disengage to the right. The Saracen Navy overwhelming with numbers our Malian army. Looks like all those villagers died to the north. And Red's got to be careful. He's engaging under a castle. Castle's absolutely fantastic at destroying ships. I mean, look how much HP damage is being done. Okay, all right, as I say that, of course, TaToH disengages. Mining camps are the last evidence that there ever was a Malian presence on Saracen Island. So these are gonna become ruins. A petard coming out as well. Okay, so a land demo man is joining the fight here. 138 villagers to 120 army supplies, about 20% apart. A dock in a very interesting spot here by the Viper. Okay. We'll see how much use he gets out of that dock, as his navy just absolutely is now prowling. 9 of these ships have 14 kills. TaToH continuing to train. Now he's going up to fast fire ships, which again is something that our Saracen doesn't have. Wisely choosing to keep them garrisoned. Why the hell pop them out one at a time? That is a fantastic move out of our Malian. The problem for him is that these galleons come with a big attack bonus against buildings, +8, which means that this dock is going to reach 360 HP very soon. And it's going to evict those 2 fire ships out of its what? Where do you keep ships? Dry docks? I don't know. Out of its dry docks. It looks like, oh my goodness. Our Malian is building a fleet here to the west, this fleet here to the east. Perhaps a distractionary force, but he's also got a castle. Not really protecting the center area, but protecting against any kind of penetration attempt to the eastern part, and defending the gold against any kind of ships. I mean, this is an interesting little move here by the Viper. Threading the needle. Oh, that is so fortunate for him. He doesn't know that there's a castle here. Okay, guy blows up against the camel, does absolutely no damage. We've got 140 HP camel to 145. That's because the Viper still does not have heavy camels. Once he does, if he does, that HP will go up, I believe, to 170. Which is just absolutely freaking bonkers. And man, oh man, I thought for sure we were done with the Navy. But both players. What do we got here? 6 heavy demos, and there's Farimba. Yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to yell in your ear, but these camels. Wait a second. Did we not see heavy camel, right? Oh, it's a converted camel. Out of all of these, just to show you my clicking skills, because I didn't recognize the one cape that didn't look very silky. The one camel I click is a camel rider, not the actual heavy camel rider. So in 30 seconds, these guys are going to have a 14 attack. Plus camels do come with an attack bonus of +9 against other camels. which is going to be very problematic for these Mamelukes. The Viper's got to realize what's going on here. He's getting dry dock. He's getting plate barding armor, so he does want to have a tankier army here. The Red Navy is way out of position. These camels have to hold the line. The demo ship, a demo ship trying to catch something. It does not, but it looks like something else did. Oh, goodness gracious. I thought we weren't going to see cannon galleons, elite of all things, but the Saracen pops them out. And all of a sudden, our Saracen is getting monk upgrades. And here we go, a big naval engagement here to the west. I'm going to zoom out a little bit. Another demo blows up, does not get the Treb. The camels close to close to kill that Treb, rather. And man, oh man, the power of the fast fire ship as it absolutely gobbles up like a hungry Malian hippo this Saracen Navy. Holy moly! Did the Viper's Navy just evaporate? And now the fire ships are here as well. The demo ship is hunting. Oh, that's so close. What's the movement speed on? Oh, what's the movement speed on a demo ship, by the way? 1.6 tiles per second. So it does move faster than these Mamelukes, right? Yeah, 1.54 tiles per second. One camel trying to hold the line. Does the Viper? Viper is very much going into monk play right now. He's doubling down on Mamelukes. I don't know about this. Mamelukes with their range will snipe ships, will snipe Trebs, but against other camels, 14 attack. Okay, wait a second. Let's stop here. There's a bunch of demos closing in. Oh, the Mamelukes escape at the last second. But again, the Saracen Navy just gets absolutely wrecked here. Now the Mameluke, 4 melee armor against the 14 attack means 10 damage. And then on top of that, 9. So 19 damage to a Mameluke, whereas the Mameluke, which attacks on a 12 right now, I guess he doesn't have a blast furnace. He's getting counterweights. Interesting. It's going to add a little bit more of a pep to the step of his siege units. But let's do the math here. 12 attack against the shitty armor of a camel, 3. So 9 damage versus the 19 damage. But the Mamelukes, they got something called range, so they can attack first. They do have first attack advantage. And in come the camels. Maybe, maybe not. Maybe, maybe not. Look at them circling. Both players trying to circle each other. Oh, TaToH's trying to bait the Mamelukes. He does not succeed. He does not succeed, but he does lose a whole bunch of his own camels. Demos everywhere. TaToH is supply capped at 200. The Viper barely eking out 180 total supply. Finally, he's 40 seconds away from blast furnace. What the hell is this? The cockiest castle in Age of Empires history, as Dowd pushes out and wants to absolutely dominate this opening entrance into the canal here. Light cavalry from him trying to attack, or from the Viper trying to destroy these Trebs. There are 5 Malian Trebs making their way forward. What the hell was the point of this? I guess this is why he got counterweights for these bombard cannons. Oh no, he canceled counterweights. I don't see the 15% extra attack. These Trebs are very exposed, by the way, to demo ships. Demo ships, 1 goes down. Camel engagement to the north as the Trebs fall. Oh no, this is not good for TaToH. He's facing 20 of these Mamelukes. Weak as they are, as we saw, they are still going to be able to kill these camels in a choke point, but now he surrounds them. He surrounds them at his castle. Okay, castle's nowhere close to getting up. So the Saracens have an opportunity here. He demoed the villagers. And just like that, the Malians' castle is stuck at 85% as he pulls even more villagers forward. I guess TaToH decided it wasn't really worth it. Wow, this really was a battle of wills for the last 10 minutes here. I mean, both players just having their armies entirely wiped out. But I do want to see one thing. I want to see that engagement, because I was so... As you guys know, sometimes I get tunnel vision. So I was so tunnel visioned on the demos attacking these Trebs that I didn't notice that there was a huge engagement just a few tiles north of there. between these Mamelukes and these camels. So 1 second here. 17 camels, 26 Mamelukes. I mean, look at the HP difference. The Mamelukes literally 1,400 more HP than their opponent. But let's see what happens as the battle commences here. Okay. The camels doing what they can. Yeah, ultimately the Mamelukes, just the numbers really are what's winning. Maybe the bombard and the healing from the monks, although it looks like a few of these monks are going to get sniped here. Wow, what an absolute bonkers. And like I said, I was expecting a lot of action here to the center, and for the majority of the game there really wasn't. So I was going to say my usual refrain about how, you know, if I say 1 + 1 is 2, TaToH will find a way to make it 3, because of course I'm nothing if not a broken record. But man, the last 10 minutes have just been an absolute bloodbath here. Camel on camel violence, ship on ship violence. And TaToH with 30 army supply, 129 villagers, decent amount of gold, but yeah, basically running out of everything. Did he run out of wood? Is that why? No, he's still got a bit of wood here. Let's see how much this is. You have to zoom in real nice and good. 6,000 wood. It kind of looks like the Viper's out of wood. If TaToH knew that the Viper was out of wood, and he only had 1230 in the bank. And by the way, TaToH doesn't have that much less. Only 900, 300 less wood is not terrible. Viper's getting siege engineers for that individual bombard cannon that he has. But I think if TaToH knew that the Viper was wood starved, I mean, these are the last, what is this, like the last forest that he's got here? He's got 473 wood here. If TaToH knew, I don't think he would have been so quick to GG. But there you go, Age of Empires, a war game, a battle of information. I think this castle just was so demoralizing to lose it, not only at 85% completion, but also with a demo blast of all things that got all of the villagers at once. That was just perhaps a little bit too demoralizing, because TaToH is not in a bad situation. The scores say one thing, but the reality on the map, TaToH's basically got map control on the water at the moment. I mean, the Viper's preparing a bit of a demo surprise. He's got 7 demos, but TaToH's got 3 demos and 8 fast fire ships. So that's not. And by the way, he doesn't see these demo ships, so that doesn't really play a role in his decision making, I don't think. I think really what it was is just the demoralization of losing this castle. I mean, it's not lost. You're going to bring these villagers forward. But I mean, the second you do, these Mamelukes are going to spring into action. And somehow, again, they always have so many freaking kills because they're so damn tanky, 133 HP, and their attack speed is so freaking good. But ultimately, 23 of these guys will have a field day with 7 badly injured camels. And Farimba, I really wanted to see Farimba camels versus the 170 HP Saracen camels. But the Viper just went full on Mameluke. And wow, okay, that didn't disappoint. That was a very fun game. 72 galleons, 103 camel riders, peak APM right towards the end, literally minutes ago for the Viper, peak APM also minutes ago for our Malian. The economies can't be too different, right? Yeah, about 6,000 resources in total, both of them getting the 3 relics. I should have pointed out, I apologize, that each island came with 3 relics. So Armenians would probably do well on this on this map with their extra relic. But look at this, the Viper getting all of the resources except for the stone, which no big surprise there. Our Malian having teefed a whole bunch of stone here to the south, a whole bunch of stone here to the north. Big surprise that he's ahead in the stone count. What about conversions? Each one has 4 conversions, so not the end of the world. What a cool icon for the heavy demo upgrade. Isn't that one of the coolest icons in the game? Pretty damn cool. Kill count. Sorry, I don't know why it ended. Why did it not go all the way to the end? I thought sorry guys, I thought I fast forwarded it all the way to the end. Total kill count, the Viper getting 34 villagers, of course. TaToH was the one intruding into his territory with villagers, and so not surprising that our Saracen had more villager kills, and on the whole, more kills with the defenders here. The defender's advantage with the ranged unit that just refuses to die. 47 kills for 23 is ridiculous. And yeah, TaToH, I guess, in the Battle of Wills just decides, you know what? Actually, wait a second. We're I was at the wrong part of the game. Look at TaToH's resources. Now the question of why he resigned becomes even more confusing and jumbled and messy. It really must be the demoralization of losing this castle and then having no way to protect these villagers except for a bunch of demos, which, by the way, if the Viper's army stays exactly where it is, these demos are going to be totally useless against anything that the Viper has. And so the Viper, by the way, has ringed his entire entry with 3 castles. This one I would have left to see on the hill, perhaps, but not a bad location protecting the stone as well. And ultimately, for whatever reason, let me know in the comments. Why do you think TaToH GG'd? Maybe he got tired. Maybe he had to go to the bathroom. Maybe, like I suspect, it was just way too demoralizing to lose this castle at 85%. Now, if it was maybe 95%, maybe he would have kept going. You know, because all of these villagers, you can sacrifice 2/3 of these villagers, maybe 4/5 of these villagers, and still get that castle up if it was at 95%. 85% still a different story. And by the way, even if it goes up, look at its HP, 843 HP. So this castle has taken an absolute pounding from Mameluke, from Demo Ship, from Water, Land, from Bombard. And holy moly, okay, that becomes a little bit clearer about this castle. But why did he GG? His resources are better than the Viper's. Same amount of stone. He's got 4 times more gold. Food, fine, 1,400 to 3,200. And wood is identical, except as we saw, TaToH had more wood. The Viper, totally out of wood. So I think the Viper's victory here, an interesting one. Let me know in the comments what you think. But in any event, neither here nor there, a super duper fun game. Ultimately, though, it is our Saracen who emerges victorious. But GG to both players. Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips and make sure to subscribe and enable notifications so that you're notified of my latest uploads.